Welcome to the Sideline Podcast. Report cards. We're going to batch 2 now. So from 12th to 7th on the ladder. How are we, fellas?
Very good.
Good.
Good?
Good.
Nothing to complain about?
No.
How many Fs are you going to give?
I'll give Fs where they're due. I'm not going to be dissuaded. If I see an F, I'll label it as such.
You love an F, don't you?
Call it how I see it, mate.
Respect it.
So we're starting with 12, are we?
Richmond.
The Tigers.
The Tigers, yeah.
Who wants to kick us off? I'm happy to start.
F.
There
we go. Yeah.
Maybe, yes, I think everyone was probably expecting Richmond to be at least a top 4 team going into the season. So it's pretty disappointing that they're in 12th.
Yeah.
It does give me a bit of satisfaction to see where they are now. But I mean, pot called the kettle black because we both didn't make finals.
Yeah.
They can be excused at times this season because they did have a lot of injuries and they had a bad run with injuries. A lot of dramas going on behind the door, obviously with Dimmo and his new mistress at the Richmond Footy Club. But overall, I think it was a really one of the more messier seasons for any club in the comp this year, especially because they're the team that, they've just pulled off 3 and 4 seasons in terms of premierships. So, yeah, pretty underwhelming season for them. So I'm going to give them a flat D. I think it's nothing more to be said. It was a disappointing season. It's just a D.
Yeah, I think you can only blame injuries like to a certain extent. I think like mid-table teams, when you say injuries, maybe that's a bit more. But when you're talking about a team like Richmond, you're meant to have list depth, and I don't think they do.
Yeah, teams are trying to figure them out as well. The way they play the footy, you can't be sustained for the long term.
Yeah, I think they were quite blessed in the last few years with their injuries. I don't think they really got many injuries, especially in crucial times of the year. So like when it got to finals time, they pretty much had their full squad.
No Rants, no Richmond.
There you go. No Rants, no Richmond. Cattle's called it, but didn't they win premiership last year with him?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They won it without him.
But yeah, still, all those things considered, it's still a massive fail. Like you can't win the premiership and then miss the 8, or it's a fail, just like the Dogs in 2017. It's a fail. It's just what it is, You don't drop off that quickly. You can drop off, obviously, because that's just what happens. Your players get older and shit starts to happen. But completely miss the 8, and not just either. Like they missed by 2 full games.
A team like Richmond, you're expected to make the 8, not even the 8, the 4.
Yeah. So I'll go D as well, D-.
Ooh.
What
do you reckon?
Yeah, they're an F. I mean, there's nothing redeeming about the season. I mean, come on, you guys,
Yeah, no, it's pretty close to an F.
The problems with hard work, problems with injuries, the way they performed, there's not one redeeming quality. It doesn't look like they're gonna have a good year next year. They're done. It's an F.
Kato.
Yeah, I'm with Tom. F. Just because it's
F.
Richmond. Yeah. Look, I thought they didn't get rid of too many players that were in their main list. They didn't have anything too different to last year. So there wasn't any reason to say why they should have dropped off that much. But I guess it was like, what do they call it? Changing of the guard or something like that. All the media calls that. They reckon Richmond's had their time. So yeah, it's time for like a rebuild, I guess, for them. mini rebuild or just try to get younger players. But yeah, disappointing season.
Yeah.
F.
I don't think we really saw that much like young talent to be super excited about either. Like there's a lot of teams that dropped off and then you go, oh, but they've got these players coming through, whereas Richmond, they've got a couple, but there's not really that many kids to get excited about just yet, probably in the next few years.
Pretty bland season.
Yeah.
They have some picks, but I mean, drafts always hit and miss when you're getting picks like Richmond will, because they will be getting like mid-teens.
Yeah, of course. But that's the problem with winning so many premierships in a row. Like, there's going to be a drop-off eventually. You can't do it forever.
Yeah.
Do we reckon there'll be a bigger drop-off next year?
I think they'll be around the same as they are this year. Maybe on the edge of the 8, but I think their days are past them in terms of contending for a premiership.
Yeah, I think the reason they are so low, not just out of the 8 or just in the 8, is because of the injuries. Yeah. But in saying that, next year it'll probably be around the same sort of area, even if they do.
Even without the injuries before those hit them, they were playing shocking.
Yeah, they
got killed by Sydney. They got killed by Melbourne. They lost, games that they should have won. They looked like they were in all sorts against Carlton in the first round at stages of that game as well. And that's they just looked out of tone a lot for the season, and it's the end of a dynasty.
Right, I'm sure they'll be happy with their 4 premierships. It's all good.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Very happy.
Richmond, D.